NK03. In the coming video, we will discuss on the network interface card and also the transmission media. So students, please take out the worksheet and also your notes. So turn to page 2. This part is about the network hardware. You can I want you to recognize the name of the network hardware. So this one is not difficult. For the first one is the UTP cable. The yellow one, this is single mode fiber. It is optical fiber. And then this one, network interface card. And then this one is a there is only network socket here. It is a wireless access point. There's so many network ports. They are switch or hub. And then the F are LAN, WAN, and antenna. It is Soho router. And G, there's only a few network port. It is a router. It's connect two network together. And then the last one is the modem, DSL modem. It is a broadband modem. So after you learn some network hardware and about their appearance, I will go to the network interface card first. Network interface card. In this question, a gigabit network interface card is support up to 1,000 megabit per second. So what is the function of the network interface card? Okay, student, now take out the highlight pen and then highlight the key idea of the question so that you can find out the answer easily. You don't make the mistake. Turn to your notes, page 14. The function, there are two major functions. One, the function of network interface card provide network socket. It is network socket for connecting the network cables or media. And then the second one is the translator digital parallel data. What is digital? Digital is 1 or 0 into serial signal appropriate for the network cable, network media, or serial signal in parallel one. Serial means the data is transmitted 1 by 1. But for the parallel signal, it means there are lots of cable. The data is transmitted in the parallel one. For example, there are a lot of network cable, a lot of wire. So you can, at a time, you can transmit up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 data at a time. So the transmission speed of the parallel data is higher than the serial data. It is serial. If you connect the 1,000 megabit LAN card to a switch, is support up to 100 megabit per second. What is the actual one? It support 1,000 megabit per second. But the switch support up to 100 megabit. So what is the actual speed? Actual speed is the you take the lowest one, so it is 100 megabit per second. Because for the communication, both devices must use the same transmission speed for communication. I will highlight the key idea of the question only. You have to do it yourself. And then the second, the question number 4 is about the MAC address of a network interface card. So MAC address, every network interface card there is a unique address. It is called MAC address, medium access control address. It is 48-bit address. It is stored in the ROM of the network interface card permanently. It cannot be changed. Because there are 48 bit, it is too long, so we use hexadecimal to represent the MAC address. There are totally 12 hexadecimal. For example, E, if you use the calculator, Q is 0010, it is in the binary. E is 1110. You can use the calculator. So 2E here, it should be 0010, 1110. It is 8 bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. So 6 times 8 bit equal to 48 bit. For the binary representation, it is too long. So in MAC address, normally we use hexadecimal to make it shorter. The MAC address is stored in the ROM. It cannot be changed. So look at the question. The full form of the MAC address, it should be medium access control address. So can you change? Why? So we look at the question, because the MAC address is stored in the ROM, so you cannot change. So how many bits are used to represent our MAC address? Hexadecimal, 12 digit. So in binary, because one hexadecimal equal to 4 bit, so 12 hexadecimal equal to 48 bit. You would do a very simple calculation here. For example, the MAC address is we look at MAC address in the binary format, write down. So 00301825. Then you have to use the calculator. I will do 1 or 2 hexadecimal changes for you. For 0, it should be 40. For example, in 3 is 0011. You can look at you can watch the video about using the calculator to do the conversion between different hexadecimal and binary in the Google site. For example, 8 is 1000. So you have to do it yourself. Then describe 2 differences between IP address and MAC address. Okay, IP address it is 32-bit MAC address 48, and IP address it can be changed. It can't be changed. You have done some practical exercise about connecting the computer to the school network and connecting the computer to the sole router. You can see the IP address is changed. So you can describe in a complete sentence. Okay, for this question, the number of bits in IP address and MAC address, they are different. For the IP address, it can be changed, but MAC address, it can't be changed because it is stored in the ROM. Okay, that's it for the network interface card. Then I will go to another topic, is about the transmission media. First of all, write down 2 major considerations of the transmission media. There are some considerations. When you look at the question 6, you can see user mobility. Can you keep moving when you're using the network? Transmission speed, transmission distance, stability, and security. There are 5 considerations. But among these considerations, I think the transmission speed and transmission distance are the most important one. So when you consider the transmission media, first of all, you have to consider the speed and the distance first. In your notes, page 16, there are two types of network media. They are wired, wireless. Wired is the physical cable, and wireless is the wireless technology. So what are the example of the wired? UTP cable, optical fiber, telephone line, coaxial cable. Once again, coaxial cable is outdated. For the wireless, Wi-Fi, 4G, 5G, satellite, microwave. So before we go on, you have to understand the differences between the wired and wireless media. So we look at the this table. Mobility, wired is lower because there's cable. Wireless, higher. There's no cable. You can move to different places as soon as the transmission distance is not too far away. And then for the speed, wired is higher because the interference is less than the wireless, and lower for the wireless network. Distance, wired is longer, wireless is shorter. Stable, wired is higher, wireless is lower. Security, 安全, okay, it should be higher, and then this one is lower. So student, you can complete this table yourself. And then question number 6 is about different type of transmission media. You have to Google it. For the telephone line, UTP cable, optical fiber, they are wired. And then Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 5, and 4G, 5G, and satellite, they are wireless. For the telephone line, it is used in the long distance, so it is WAN, UTP cable, LAN, optical fiber, LAN and WAN, both. Wi-Fi, LAN, short distance, and 4G, long distance, it is LAN, WAN, and WAN. For the transmission speed, you can Google it yourself. One point I would like to highlight is the 4G and 5G. The distance should be longer than Wi-Fi. Make sure that you find out this answer. So first of all, we compare the wired network first. For the wireless network, we use the telephone line and UTP cable. On the telephone line, the speed is lower. UTP cable is higher. Distance, telephone line is longer. UTP cable is shorter. And for the telephone line, the data is analog. For the UTP cable, it is digital. There is a diagram in your notes. UTP cable. There are different types of UTP cable. For example, nowadays we use the Cat6. It can be up to 10 gigabit per second, and the transmission speed distance is only 100 meters. And for the Cat1, it is a telephone line actually. The speed is very, very slow, and the data inside is analog signal, which is in the continuous waveform. The UTP cable, the TP stands for twisted pair. There is copper wire twisted. So the purpose is to cancel the electromagnetic interference. 因為互相干擾嘅一個現象。The twisting can help you to cancel the interference. So for the connection of the UTP cable, you use the UTP cable to connect computer and the hub or switch together using the cable. And then the second one, this one is the coaxial cable. It is outdated. Okay, normally it is used to transmit the TV signal. The connection is like this. You have a T-joint so that you can add the computer here. If you want to add the computer, you cut the coaxial cable and then add a T-joint so that you can connect to another computer. And optical fiber. The optical fiber, the advantage including the transmission speed is higher, distance is longer. The reason is because the light attenuation is the least. 個衰減最低。I would like to, for your reference, the speed can be 100 gigabit per second, and the distance can be 100 kilometers. And also there's advantages not affected by electromagnetic interference. 唔會受到電磁場干擾 because there's only light inside. It cannot be interrupted or captured by unauthorized user easily. 呢度咧係好難俾一啲未經授權嘅人去拎到啲資料嘅，因為佢用光嘅原因咧，嗰啲 unauthorized user 唔能夠用啲特別嘅裝置去睇個磁場，然後得到裡面資料。Therefore, the security is higher, and also the physical size is smaller. The weight is least. But the problem is the cost is the highest, and the installation cost is higher also. It is difficult to install the fiber. There is a comparison. Normally, the optical fiber is widely used in the network backbone only. This is the backbone. To save the cost, the other, connecting the computer to the hub or switch, we use the UTP cable to save the cost. Okay, you can do the comparison here. And then the question is about the UTP cable, Cat6. Functional twisting, you can find out the answer in the notes. And then there is a problem in the diagram. This one should be internet, and it is a modem. Okay, you have to find out the diagram about the modem. Okay, this is a diagram about the modem on page 28. It's about the modem. Modem is used to connect computer to another remote computer via the telephone line. This is a diagram. For the computer, the data is the digital signal. But in the telephone line, the data is analog signal. So modem is to change data from the digital to analog. It changes digital data into analog data so that it can transmit through the telephone line. And then you can demodulate, change the analog signal in the telephone line back to the digital data signal for computer. For example, the modem here, change the data from analog to digital. So we look at the diagram here. If it is a internet, then X will be UTP cable, and Y is the long distance connecting your home. It is your home to the internet. So long distance. So it is telephone line. So two difference between X and Y in terms of the speed, in terms of the transmission distance. and the signal. You can look at your notes. Maybe you can look at the worksheet here. Sorry, telephone line and the UTP cable. There is the comparison. Okay, it's higher. And the transmission speed of the UTP cable is shorter. Transmission distance. Signal. H transmits digital signal. And question D is about the comparison between optical fiber and the UTP cable. The advantage of optical fiber. You can look at the page 18. And discover one disadvantage of optical fiber, page 18 as well. Then wireless, the comparison between the Wi-Fi and the mobile data. Okay, we can do the comparison together. For the transmission distance, Wi-Fi is shorter, and mobile data network 5G or 4G, it is longer. And for the speed, Wi-Fi is higher, mobile data is lower. WAN or LAN, Wi-Fi short distance, so it is a LAN, and mobile data WAN. And then set up by Wi-Fi can be set up by household, individual, or telecommunication company, like in the shopping mall. But 4G, it should be set up by telecommunication company. It is the Wi-Fi. In Wi-Fi, we can there are two standard. It is for interest only. And for Wi-Fi standard, the most updated standard is Wi-Fi 6. It can transmit up to 10 gigabit per second. You have to set up an access point when you want to establish a Wi-Fi network. A wireless access point is needed. It help you to translate, change the wireless signal into wireless. There are two ways for the computer or mobile phone to communicate with each other using the Wi-Fi. You can use the Wi-Fi direct, which means access point, wireless access point. It's not needed. They can communicate with each other directly. But in this case, only two devices can communicate at the same time. So if there is another smartphone, okay, then it cannot communicate with them. But if you set up a AP, one access point, AP stands for access point. Then they can communicate with the access point, and then if there is another computer, you can communicate with the access point, so that all three computers can communicate with each other. For the Wi-Fi Direct, it is only suitable for a temporary communication only. Wi-Fi can be set up by individual, telecommunication company, or government. For individual, you set up the Wi-Fi, you have to manage the Wi-Fi yourself. You have to set up the SSID encryption key. But if telecommunication company set up the access point, they may set up in the shopping malls or MTR station, so the customer can use the Wi-Fi service and enjoy the wireless network. For government, it install a lot of wireless access point in the government building, so citizens can enjoy the service. But for the government Wi-Fi, there are some limitations. First of all, the bandwidth control. Bandwidth is the transmission speed. It limits the speed of each user. And time control, it limits the time. And filtering to block some obscene, indecent, and whatever the content which is not appropriate for the normal people. But Wi-Fi, there is a limitation. The transmission distance is not long enough. So we have the mobile data network, 4G, LTE, or 5G. The G here stands for generation. (4G, 5G). So customer can subscribe the service by paying the monthly fee. There is a very important comparison between them. For the mobile data, the speed is lower, but Wi-Fi is higher. For the transmission distance, 4G, 5G is larger, Wi-Fi is smaller. And then 4G Wi-Fi, it is WAN technology, and Wi-Fi LAN only. So there is a Wi-Fi network. Peter set up a wireless access point to upgrade the network from X to Y. The major difference is this part. The computer connect to other computer using the wireless signal. Wireless. So what are the advantages? It gives the mobility, mobile. The user can take the notebook to anywhere because there is no cable. So which of the following is the benefit of the upgrade? It is more difficult for unauthorized user to access the network. Better security. Using the network, the security is not very secure, so it is no. The speed can be increased, no. The transmission distance increased, no. Mobility, yes. We can study the comparison between the wireless and the wired signal, which is shown in here. Mobility, wireless, but no, high. Speed, yes, higher, lower. Distance, longer, shorter. Stable, higher, lower, higher, lower. So we use the table in the page 3 to answer the question. Here. only the mobility is the advantage. For the security, no. For speed, no. For distance, no. Also, remember, we have to understand the differences between the wired and the wireless signal network. And then another one is the different type of the figure. So the Wi-Fi standard of computer and access point. And okay, this is Wi-Fi 6, this is Wi-Fi 6. And the access point is Wi-Fi 5. So what is the maximum transmission distance between A and B in the following cases? A, B. A and B communicate via the access point. That means A connect to the access point and the access point connect to Wi-Fi. Because A to access point using Wi-Fi 5. For the communication, you have to use the common speed. So Wi-Fi 5 is slower. So AP and the computer A must use a lower speed. So and then AP to B using the Wi-Fi 5 only. So maximum speed, we can take a look of the notes. Wi-Fi 5. Okay. I don't think 6.9 is the appropriate, but I will use this one, 6.9 gigabit per second. In practical, it is impossible to have so high speed. But in the second case, AB communicate directly without the access point, so A to B. Directly. So they can use the Wi-Fi 6. So they can use the Wi-Fi 6 standard. So it should be 10.53. So if A and C download 1 gigabit from D is here. So which computer use the less time? A and C. So A download D. So D connect by the cable and then to A. And then the other one is D connect to the cable and then to C. So we look at the comparison between the wireless and wired signal in the page 3. So wired signal, wired network, the transmission speed is higher. So for the last time, computer C use less time because the transmission speed of wired network is higher. And for the computer E, it cannot connect to the access point in the network, such as 3 reasons. E cannot connect to the access point. There are 3 reasons. What are the reasons? First of all, maybe E is too far away. Okay, it is not under the coverage of the access point. The distance between the E and the access point is longer than the maximum transmission distance of the Wi-Fi. So E cannot receive the signal, so he cannot connect to the Wi-Fi network. And then maybe the second one is there is an encryption key in the access point, but it does not have the suitable encryption key, so it cannot connect to the access point. And the third one, maybe there are too many users for the access point. So the number of users exceeds the maximum limit of the access point, then it cannot connect to the access point. All these reasons you can find out in the wireless AP the NUCs. I think there is some passage about the Wi-Fi network. You can find it out in the notes. Wi-Fi. No, not this one. Okay, we have discussed it. First of all, the E is too far away, okay, from the access point, so it cannot connect to the Wi-Fi network. E does not have the encryption key to connect to the Wi-Fi network, or maybe you can say the password. And then the last one is there are too many users in the access point, so it is more than the maximum limit of the user, so E cannot connect to the access point. So computer did detect a Wi-Fi network, 2.4 gigabit and 5 gigahertz set by Peter. Which one should he choose? Why? So it all depends on the need. For the 2.4, it is a longer transmission distance, 5 gigahertz higher transmission speed. So you can choose whatever you like. For example, I choose 2.4 gigahertz. The reason is because Peter is far away from, so D is far away from the access point. So D must choose 2.5 gigahertz, which has longer transmission distance. So if you choose 5 gigahertz, that means you want to have a higher transmission speed. You can download the file in shorter time. Okay, the last one is about other short distance wireless communication link. We can take a look of here. Besides Wi-Fi and mobile data network, there are other type of wireless technology. Okay, they are infrared, 紅外線, Bluetooth, which is very popular for the wearable device like the headphone, headset, or earphone. Because the power consumption is low, the battery can last longer than for the mobile portable device, and RFID and NFC. These are the comparison. And you can look at here, there is also other description. For the Bluetooth, which is the most popular one, because of the less power consumption than the Wi-Fi, so it is more popular. So Peter sent some image file to Mary smartphone, describe the advantage of using this option, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Look at the Bluetooth. The transmission distance is about 10 meters, which is shorter than Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi 50 meter. So for the Bluetooth, the advantage is for the power consumption. It's lower than Wi-Fi. Can last longer. For Wi-Fi, the speed is higher, so it takes shorter time. So for the others, I think you can do it yourself, which is it is not difficult for you. Okay, the last topics about the wireless is about the other long distance transmission. Wireless transmission is they're the microwave broadband. Microwave broadband is a long distance. Okay, it can up to maybe several kilometers. So the speed can be 100 megabit per second. So you can see there is a temporary antenna. It's set up to communicate with the hilltop antenna. So the advantage is it is easy and fast to set up the microwave communication than wired. You don't need to do the cabling to put the cable on under the ground. So you can set up the temporary long distance. For example, live news report can be sent to the TV company using the microwave. But the problem is the microwave antenna must be line of sight, 即係直線對住嘅. There's no obstacle, 冇障礙物 between two antenna. Otherwise, that is a problem. The obstacle will block the signal between the microwave antenna and the two antennas. And the second one is microwave signal can be affected by the windstorm easily. The windstorm will absorb all microwave signal, so the communication become unstable. And then the other one is the satellite. Satellite is used to establish communication between two remote areas. The coverage is very, very, very long, but it's still shorter than the optical fiber. The problem is the installation cost is very, very high, and average transmission distance is low. The latest standard, the Starlink, provided by Elon Musk. It can, the speed can be up to 100 megabit per second, which is still less than a UTV cable. Okay, that's it for the discussion about the network interface card and the transmission media. So students, you can complete some question on the NK03 yourself. We'll talk about the network device later.